20 years ago, when we started Young Storytellers, I didn't need reading glasses. It is definitely a different era. I'm Andrew Barrett, the Chair Emeritus of Young Storytellers. This year's Mentor of the Year award is for a very special member of our community. Jeff Smith was... in a way that says it all. It was incredibly moving to put together some words about Jeff and to talk with other young storytellers, family members, and to see how much he meant to all of us. He was an exemplary teacher, colleague, and friend. He joined Young Storytellers in 1999 and was with us as a mentor, a head mentor, and board member until 2 weeks ago when he passed away. He spent 19 years as an enthusiastic supporter of Young Storytellers and as a leader. And in that entire time, I can't remember an event, a board meeting, or a fundraiser that he didn't attend, and with quintessential enthusiasm and support. Jeff was generous, funny, thoughtful, incredibly kind, and he always showed up. They say we remember the things that we care about. And even years after Jeff had mentored kids, years after they'd been in his program, he remembered not only the names of his students, but he remembered details of their stories. And he remembered details of their lives because they had stayed in touch with him. And often, like the Taco Story, the third one, which will be produced by Warner Brothers, in honor of Jeff Smith, the kids would come back to visit Jeff and to tell them, oh, by the way, my brother's going to be in your program, because that's how much of a difference he made in their lives. The number of mentors, board members, community members, and students he taught and inspired, it's impossible to measure. It just can't be measured. He made an enormous difference to us, and his support came often in very thoughtful and personal ways. Years ago, when I was chairman of the board, we were in a very difficult time period, and he called me out of the blue. And he just said, hey, I got to tell you, you're doing a great job. Bye. Click. And it was exactly what I needed to hear in the most paternal and generous and thoughtful way. And when you talk to people who know Jeff, they all have 1,000 stories about him showing up that way or him acknowledging a success of their child, something like that. In the last few years, his son Alex was producing his first film, and Jeff always mentioned how good the film was and how proud he was of his son. We can't count how many people that he was their first mentor, or that they came to Young Storytellers through Jeff, or that they fell in love with Young Storytellers because they could see how in love he was with helping children find their voice through storytelling. Jeff was truly kind, and he was truly in action about it. And honestly, talking about superpowers, that was really his superpower. It wasn't complicated, but it was deep, and it was moral, and it made a huge difference. Everyone at Young Storytellers, the board, the staff, Donna, Susan, Marika, Bill, all the people who were close friends with him, everyone loved and appreciated him as a man, and everyone loved and appreciated him for how much he contributed to our mission. He will be truly missed, and this is a video commemorating Jeff Smith.
I got involved with Young Storytellers when I got a call from the Writers Guild, and I asked them, what is it? And they said, well, it's something to do with kids writing stories. And I thought, well, I'm a writer, so I might as well do that. So they told me I had to meet at Cherimoya School in Hollywood. I went to this school, and it was just the most amazing experience, and it just made me want to go back, and again, and again, and again.
Hi, my name is Blair Hickey, and I have the honor of being Jeff's first head mentor way back at the beginning when things were first starting out for Young Storytellers back at Cherimoya Elementary School. And no surprise, from the very first day, I remember Jeff just being so incredibly enthusiastic and friendly and helpful. Always has that amazing Jeff smile.
Jeff was an inspiration, and he was very helpful, and he always helped me when I had doubts about myself.
And we made small plays and memories that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives.
He would always just walk in and I had a smile on my face from the very start. I mean, he's just so energetic and lively and just happy.
He inspired so many people to find the joy in writing, and he will always be remembered for that.
I think the best part about working with Jeff was that he really showed all of us mentors what this program is all about, which is giving a child their own voice.
I had just moved to Los Angeles and discovered Young Storytellers and came into St. Anne's as a mentor, and I've been there ever since. And the main reason for that is Jeff, because he does so much for the community. He gives so much of his time and his heart and his energy and his passion, and it just shows in everything that he does.
Jeff Smith is the reason that I got involved with Young Storytellers. For many years, we mentored together at St. Anne's. And one thing you could always count on was that Jeff had this unbelievable energy with the kids. And when they would write something that worked, you could just see the joy on his face.
I know that there will be many, many people who throughout their lives will remember what a difference he made to them. It was really a gift to them, and it was a gift to us to be able to have him in our lives too.
And then Jeff, you are the reason that I am a part of Young Storytellers. You are Young Storytellers.
Jeff is the king because, for many reasons, because one reason in particular is the way he approaches service. For most of us, Young Storytellers ends when we leave the classroom for the day, when we walk outside of the school. Not Jeff.
He has left such a lasting impression at the school and with all of the students that even now we have students who come in who have never met Jeff and they ask about him.
I met Jeff a little over 20 years ago at the gym. We're both gym rats by nature, and he introduced me to Young Storytellers. And my favorite memory about Jeff is how much he loved to shake it out. He was the first one up before any kids, and he would just go.
One of my favorite pictures of Jeff is from Painted Turtle with him entertaining the kids wearing a pink lace tutu.
He's left such a beautiful legacy at St. Anne's and with Young Storytellers.
There have been so many people through the years that have been involved in Young Storytellers, and I am so appreciative to them for what they do.
Thank you for all the lives that you've touched over the years. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to recognize you and all your great work.
Jeff, thank you for everything you've done, and you will be dearly missed.
Thank you so much for everything you've done on behalf of all the kids, for those of us who've worked with you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you, Jeff, and thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for everything you've done for us. We love you, Jeff.
I love you, Jeff. Always.
We love you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Somebody said that when Aretha Franklin got to heaven, she wouldn't join the choir of angels, they would join her as her backup singers. I think when Jeff got to heaven, he became the head mentor of that choir of angels. It is my honor to welcome to the stage two people that have been impacted by Jeff's legacy of service to accept the Andrew Barrett Mentor of the Year Award on his behalf. Michael Browning, the principal of St. Anne Middle School, and Sydney Mason, a former mentee and current Young Storytellers volunteer.
Thank you, Andrew. As Andrew mentioned, my name is Michael Browning. I'm the principal of St. Anne's School. For the last 20 years, I've been principal at St. Anne's. 10 years ago, when somebody mentioned that we should have Young Storytellers in our school, sorry about this, Bill, but I have to confess I had no idea what it was. And then into my office walked Jeff Smith. And I'd never met anyone like him. And his natural exuberance, his passion for the program, within minutes I knew this is a program we had to have at St. Anne's School. When we started, first of all, at St. Anne's School, when Jeff walked in and he was there, and he came in with such an energy that it was impossible not to embrace what it was he was all about. And then over the next 10 years, Jeff led the program at St. Anne's School, not once, but twice a year. So two 10-week sessions, 2 big shows. He was there, and like Andrew said, with this level of energy that I just had never seen matched with anybody else. These amazing kids that you saw tonight, these amazing stories, the 20 or so that I've seen over the 10 years at St. Anne's School, I've seen kids, the most creative kids that we have in our school, find an avenue for this talent. I've seen our shyest kids find a voice. I've seen our kids who have an autistic spectrum diagnosis tell stories from their own unique perspective. I've seen kids there whose talents might have been deeply hidden up until that point. And I've seen these incredible mentors, incredible teachers draw the talent out of these kids so that they could shine on that particular stage. When Bill asked me to say a few words, I really wasn't sure I could do justice to this incredible man for everything that he gave to St. Anne's School, and then also from what the reaction in this room. He means so much to so many people. I really wasn't sure that I could literally do him justice. St. Anne's is a small operation. Like, the sum total of the administration of St. Anne's School is me and our incredible secretary, Francis. So when Bill asked me to speak on Friday, just Friday of last week, Francis pulled these records, our emergency records for families, and we called up parents from these old numbers, and we got emails for kids, and we sent them this tragic news about Jeff, and you saw it on the video. On Friday at 6 o'clock when we finished, by Saturday morning, these kids had responded. And as I was typing that email, I couldn't help think what a kick Jeff would have got out of that. Because as I'm typing the email addresses for these kids, the best high schools in the city of Los Angeles were represented there. And as we got to those kids who had started the program 10 years ago, kids who are now 19 and 20, I found myself typing at University of Nebraska, at UPenn, at Wharton, at Whittier College, at UC Santa Cruz, at Lesley University, Boston. And I have to get this in, my own personal favourite, Lauren, who sent hers in, at University of Glasgow, Scotland. My alma mater. It's so nice that one of our kids made it there. And I think about that. Jeff would have loved that. And as I was watching the video there, I couldn't help but imagine him sitting next to me. And I thought about that. It doesn't matter what I had to say. What I would have said to him as he was sitting next to me there was, you know what, Jeff, we should have known. Young storytellers will say it best. So Jeff, rest in peace. You're a remarkable, wonderful man. St. Anne's School is so enriched by what you have brought to our school. God bless you.
Hi, my name is Sydney Mason, and I found myself getting to know Jeff not through Young Storytellers initially, but through another organization I was volunteering with at a camp called Camp Crescent Moon. And Camp Crescent Moon is a camp for children who have sickle cell disease. And like his passion for Young Storytellers, he found himself having another passion for this camp for kids who have sickle cell. And though sickle cell is a very serious pain-related illness, it was a fun camp. And it was for these kids to come together and experience summer camps like any other kid, a good week-long camp. One of the highlighted things about this camp were the music videos that we liked to put together. Every cabin would choose a song, fun, popular, hopefully appropriate song, and then recreate the music videos. And before Jeff came on board, we had kind of what looked like, 90s VHS classic home video music videos. And then once Jeff came in with the network he brought in, he just leveled them up to, I don't know if anyone remembers TRL, I think that's still going on. This was more like 106 in Park. But nonetheless, it was a great, great experience and gift that he was able to give hundreds of kids and eventually brought in Young Storytellers. And I had started this camp maybe when I was, 15, 16 as a volunteer, so about a little over 10 years ago. And the way that I found myself bonding with Jeff was also my interest in what we have going on tonight of writing and acting and performing, all of those things. He kind of, saw that and kept feeding that in my ear. And I did not live in Los Angeles. I was from Fresno, California, yes. And, that was just my summer. I would see Jeff every summer volunteering for this camp. And then I finally found myself in LA doing the thing, going to UCLA, and go Bruins. And Jeff, again, kept me involved, and that's where I was finally able to do my first show at St. Anne's with Young Storytellers. But Jeff always was just supportive in my voice, whether it was through the sickle cell community, whether it was just me performing, just me growing up in a city I'm not from. Jeff was there and just helping me find an outlet that a lot of people should have and deserve to have. And I was just very happy to do something outside of school alongside other actors, getting my feet wet just as an actor and working alongside Stuart Pankin and Jason Ritter and the brilliant Deborah Wilson. That experience I would never had if it wasn't for Jeff. And even when I didn't necessarily want to act and wanted to maybe see what it was like to be behind the scenes, Jeff immediately got me on board and helped PA, and I got to be on my first set. No idea what I was doing, but I was able to have that hand to just help me and lead me into this big city. It's crazy, this is my first biggest show that I've been to, and I didn't even know about this show until Jeff actually told me. And I was fortunate to visit him this past summer after he was diagnosed with ALS, and his spirit was still very well alive. And when his eyes light up, talking about a project, talking about a new thing he was doing, it was still very much there. And it is unfortunate that I'm not here with him to experience this, but I just want to be very grateful and honored to ask to talk on behalf of Jeff. And I also want to send love and light to his son Alex and wife Robin, who couldn't be here tonight. So thank you for letting me accept this on behalf of him.
Thank you both so much. We were planning on giving this award to Jeff in person, but since he made such a difference to so many kids and to so many adults, we're also dedicating the money we raise in the room this evening to permanently funding the Script to Stage program at St. Anne's Elementary School. So your donations tonight will not only put hundreds of kids through a profoundly fun and enriching program, going forward it will be called the E. Jeffrey Smith Script to Stage program at St. Anne's School, which will cement his legacy of helping young people find their voices for many years to come. Jeff Smith, we thank you, we miss you, and we love you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.